Can home crypto mining be a hobby, or is it always about the profits? What's going on, crypto miners, and welcome back to the channel. So it's funny, you're either watching this brand new to crypto mining and you're intrigued, or you're a seasoned crypto miner and deep down, you know it's not just a hobby. So it's funny, if we take a step back and we think about how we've all gotten started with home crypto mining, it all usually starts with the concept of a CPU or one GPU or your gaming computer. And you're intrigued by this thing called Bitcoin or this thing called cryptocurrency. And so you decide to step into it. And at that point in time, it's really just an idea. It's not even a hobby. It's not even about money. You're just like, I want to know a little bit more about this. And I was exactly the same way when I got started back in early 2021. I started right here in this basement with one GTX 970. And I remember 100%. I mean, I thought this was absolutely awesome. And at that time, I feel like it was a hobby for me. It was just an interest. It was a passion project. And for me, I came from the technology background, so it naturally just fit into my interest. And so I remember setting up my first rig. It was just the GTX 970, like, all right, let's see what I can do with this GPU. And at that time, and don't tell him, but at that time, I was watching a ton of Red Panda mining. I actually spent 6 months watching videos online by people like Voscoin, Bitsby Trippin, Son of a Tech, and that guy, Red Panda Mining. All things aside, very educational channel. Make sure that you guys do go over and subscribe if you're not already. However, for me, it was one of those things where we naturally, we sink our teeth into it and it just pulls us in. And it was just for months and months watching content, trying to understand it, trying to learn it. And I feel like when we first start out, like I did, it was a hobby, right? We all get into it and that hobby grows, that interest grows, our passion grows about it. We want to know more and we just absorb. And I remember, man, getting that first rig set up. I'm not going to lie. Like I had gotten a Vitret. No, it wasn't a Vitret 2. It was, man, I can't remember the name of the case. It's just completely blanking for me. It was just an open frame, Veta frame. Yes. It was a Veta frame. Sorry, we're not doing this with notes. We're just running with this. It was a Veta frame, and a friend of mine had given it to me. He was moving, didn't need it anymore, and had thrown it my way. It sat in my basement for like 2 years. So pretty much 2019 had just sat in my basement. This Veta frame with this board, weird, mining board called a B250. No clue what it was. Later on, found it was quite valuable, actually, mining motherboard that supported a number of graphics cards and a handful of these weird things that looked like a motherboard that you would plug your GPUs into, later to find they were called risers. And I remember trying to piece this together from videos from Red Panda Mining and Voscoin, Bitsby Trippin, and trying to figure out how exactly this all kind of went together. And I'll tell you what, and I know a lot of you guys, if you're brand new to mining, you're just stumbling across this, you're where I was. You want to build that first rig. You are piecing together the knowledge, the information, and nowadays it's all coming from YouTube. That's where it was for me. And it was just figuring out how it all worked. And if you're on the flip side and you've been crypto mining for years now, you're absolutely sitting back, reminiscing yourself on exactly everything that I'm talking about right now. And you're kind of getting some warm feeling there of like, hey, I was there. I remembered that. And you know what sticks out to me the most, and I will absolutely remember it, and I guarantee you did as well, or you're going to, based off your situation. And that is the fact of taking your first piece of mining hardware, whether it's CPU, a GPU, whether you went online to one of the many resellers that you constantly hear me talking about and you bought a small box miner. Maybe some of you guys got some major stones and you bought a full-size ASIC as your first miner. Regardless, when you plug that in, you power it up, it works for the first time, which with GPU mining never happens. I'm going to be honest with you. Even CPU mining, it never just works magically the first time you get into this, especially getting into things with GPU and CPU mining and all the weird, wonky configurations and settings you have to set. But that one thing that I'll always remember stepping into it that made that, it almost made that threshold between hobby and in it for profit. And it's when you first get it booted up and you see it start mining. However, it's that next step that kicks in that absolutely changes this hobby into the pursuit of profit. And you know what that is? And I guarantee you remember it when I say it. It's when your first little bit of crypto hits your crypto wallet. Thank you to today's video sponsor, ASICmarketplace.com. If you're in the market for the top ASIC miners, look no further than ASICmarketplace.com. They have some of the best miners on the market in 2025. To name just a few, Bitmain Antminer L9 and L7, the AlphaPex DG1 Plus, the Canon Avalon A15 XP, and many more. And home miners, ASICmarketplace.com has you covered as well. The AlphaPex DG Home 1, the Bombax EZ100C, the Ice River AL2 Lite, and many more. Finally, 3 big reasons I like ASICmarketplace.com. First, the price on their website is to your door. Shipping and import tax is included in the price. Second, they accept cryptocurrency as a payment method. And third, I've been working with them for over 2 years and never had a bad experience buying from ASICmarketplace.com. Go check out ASICmarketplace.com today and use my discount code to save $100 at checkout. It's that moment. And it's really funny because I actually heard this talked about many times by Carter Bitsby Trippin'. And he talks about it many times on a lot of his channel and his videos about the fact of the moment that your crypto hits your wallet, it changes everything. Because you've instantly made, as the mining king talks about, this magic money, from these magic China boxes when he's talking about ASIC miners. But it absolutely is true. And I guarantee many of you have felt the exact same way. And when that moment happens and this profit has been generated from something that you've built or that you've powered on and that you've created, let's say, it definitely takes it from a hobby to a profit. And it's the pursuit of profit. It's the pursuit of financial freedom. It's the pursuit of putting your family in a better place down the road. We're all there, especially those of you guys that have been mining through the last few years during the bear market. You're feeling the fruits of your labor. But the funny thing is, it doesn't end at that one GPU, that one CPU, that one small ASIC miner. It continues, doesn't it? I don't know what it is. It's that I'm going to keep coming back to it, that pursuit of profit and for more crypto. And so it grows into buying more GPUs, more ASICs, more CPUs. It grows into pursuing more DePIN projects. And all of a sudden now your basement or your shed or this bedroom starts to fill up with stuff. And then you use your shed or your garage or your basement as where your farm has grown into. And then for some of you, it's actually moved significantly past there. And you've been able to take that step. Usually not in your first cycle. Usually it's multiple cycles where you start to financially be able to afford to rent a space or a warehouse. And to some of the crazy lucky few, you end up taking it farther than that. Now, many of you, instead of going that far, end up sending your hardware away for hosting. You've outgrown your property based off of any limitations on power, on electric rate, on how much your wife will take, how much room you have. It really starts to grow past that. And it's funny because I constantly see comments where people are like, oh, I'm in it for the technology, or, oh, it's just a hobby for you. But let's be honest with each other. We're all after the pursuit of profit. And I don't think there's absolutely anything wrong with that. So this past week, just the other day, I put out a survey to my community, and absolutely, let's take a look at it, because not only do I want to look at the results, but I want to talk about some of the comments. All right, so taking a look at the survey, I threw it up there. Actually, it was yesterday, now that I think about it, up on my YouTube channel. And it was very much, is crypto mining just a hobby for you? 21% of you said yes. Hobby, I'm not interested in profits at all. And for those individuals, your answer is not wrong, but I think, or at least I believe, and please comment down below on this video, that you are so early into crypto, whether you're just wanting to get into it, which is pretty normal as bull runs start off, it brings in a bunch of new people. You're just getting into it and you're still considering it a hobby because you haven't spent a ton of money. You're still tinkering, figuring this thing out. And those first coins from that crypto that you mine haven't hit your wallet yet. For me, that RX 970 I talked about, 970 that I talked about, it was actually Ravencoin, believe it or not, for me during the last bull run in January, February of 2021. Now, 79% of you, though, said, no, I'm into crypto mining for the money and profits. So it's a large majority, about 80% versus about 20% of you guys that did say this, which I don't disagree with at all. I mean, now where I'm at and my journey with crypto, it's not about the technology. It's not just a hobby, as our thumbnail says. It's absolutely about the pursuit of profits. It's absolutely about financial freedom, being able to take that next move in my life financially because of crypto. Today's video is sponsored by the team over at pinex.us. I'm excited to partner up with pinex.us to help announce that Kaspa is now live on their platform and tradable today. You can now buy, sell, and trade Kaspa actively on pinex.us. Pinex.us is the first US regulated exchange to list Kaspa. To help kick off the fun, Pinex.us is running a 100,000 Kaspa giveaway event. Check out the links in the video description to enter to win. All right, 2 comments here that I want to take a look at. There's a lot of really good ones, but these are 2 that actually kind of stood out to me. The first one here is from PDATH, and it says, thinking about this more, I buy Bitcoin regularly to build my wealth. It is not possible to make serious money home mining. You need to go much bigger if you want to make money to retire on. And there's so much more risk. Machines break down, power prices going up. I mine coins I would never buy. I tend to mine coins that do nothing or 10x. So on reflection, I mostly home mine for the enjoyment. And maybe, like the lottery, I'll do okay from it. Most likely I'll end up just a little bit ahead. So great comments there. A lot to unpack there. There's definitely the pursuit of wealth that he talks about. He talks about especially the fact now, where we are over the last few years, it's very difficult to mine for profits as a home miner. Traditionally in the past, we had a coin like Ethereum that stood out, especially with GPU mining, and it at least allowed you to make significant profits per day and a pretty good amount to sit on. However, over the last few years, that hasn't existed. And so a lot of people, just like him, talk about the fact of spec mining into a coin that right now doesn't make anything. And either it's going to go by the wayside and disappear, or it's going to 10x. And he's absolutely right to almost compare this to the lottery. That's a great way to look at it when you're spec mining as a home miner, especially throughout the bear market. I guarantee you someone like him has been mining entirely through the bear market and is just waiting for one of those spec plays to go ahead and pop off. But at the very top there, love it. I buy Bitcoin regularly to build my wealth. Second one down here comes from Bunker Clock 5039. Hobby that I can hopefully make more hobby money from. Maybe a car for my oldest kid. So it's really funny because I feel like behind the word hobby, that's said twice, is the pursuit of wealth and to put him in a better financial situation so that he can afford a car for his oldest child. I mean, we there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with saying that you're pursuing financial freedom, you're pursuing that wealth, and I think that's really what crypto brings to the table. For me, I'm going through my first cycle right now. I started in early 2021 at the height of that bull run, experienced it, went through the bear market over the last few years, and now I'm able to participate in the beginning of the next bull run. However, I'm very fortunate. Mining over the last several years, especially during the bear market, has put me in a great position. Haven't sold anything yet. I'm sitting by because just like the one individual said, I buy Bitcoin regularly to build my wealth. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm continuing to mine crypto, mine it during the bear market. I will continue to mine it during the bull run, but I will take profits eventually. Because at the end of the day, it's not just a hobby sitting by watching my portfolio grow. At the end of the day, I'm in it for profits.